Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Ultimate Nightmares run, where we take the characters that are hardest to beat on the new Nightmare mode, as chosen by you, and try to win with them. I've actually had a lot of people tell me they've really been struggling with Brawler on Crash Zone, and I previously did a run with this on the Abyss, but melee weapons are much harder on Crash Zone than they are on the Abyss on Nightmare, thanks to the enhanced spitters and all the summoners. And minus 50 range is actually a really difficult problem to deal with the goobers. So I think that the Brawler is actually pretty challenging on this map. We're going to jump in, we'll use fists as our weapon. I think it's typically the best weapon for the character. Claws are also okay, but fists are usually just going to be easier to use because they're very cheap, they level really well, they do good damage. And we'll see if we can get the win here, and then I can get, another red border going. Alright, I was fairly sure I could get that tree kill, so it was worth going for it. I'll take 2 melee damage. Fists are a pretty low damage weapon until you level them, so a little bit of extra melee damage is pretty important. We'll lock Scar here, we'll roll, buy a fist, lock Coffee. While we do get extra attack speed with unarmed weapons, Coffee, of course, is super efficient, and attack speed is still really important. We'll buy a fist, buy another one, and roll, and lock another one. So, great start. We found 6 total weapon levels, including the one that we started with, but you really want to level this weapon because it doubles its base damage every level. Now, of course, these early waves are always going to be very smooth for this character, but later on, it might get more difficult. I'll take 2 more melee damage here. We'll buy a fist, and we'll roll. Level, you can see it goes up to 16 base damage, and then we'll roll again, and we'll keep rolling, and we'll lock another fist. So, of course, we're going to need a ton of armor. We're going to need dodge. We're going to need regen. I will also probably, if we get a good range level up, I'll fix my range just a little bit to make it easier to kill the summons as they pop out of the summoners. Consumable heal, one of the strongest things that we could find as well, so we're very much looking for that. Here, I'm going to just take 2 regen. I could roll for other stats, but we're going to need so much regeneration, I'll just pick it up. And then I will take 5 harvesting. I of course, would have liked to take some harvesting earlier, but I've found on Nightmare mode, you really just want to save your money to roll for weapons in the first shop, so I have not been liking rolling for harvesting, because it's so important to get early weapon levels on Nightmare mode. I could use some more move speed as well. It'll make chasing down things like these spitters easier, and it's going to be really important when we get to the enhanced spitters later on, because those are very fast, do a ton of damage, are incredibly dangerous for melee characters. So we're going to need to be able to have a plan for those, and of course that plan is going to be run at them really quickly, so we need to be able to do that. Here, I'm going to roll, and we'll take, I could take 3 regen. Let's take 6 dodge, though. We obviously want to build dodge, because we start with 30 dodge on this character, between the starting stats and the starting stats and the unarmed weapon tag. We'll buy these items, we'll roll. Flaming Brass Knuckles is basically a fist. It has exactly the same stats, but slightly higher base damage and can also light things on fire. So I will take a Flaming Brass Knuckles. And then we'll buy another fist. We'll lock a Goat Skull for more melee damage. And I'll do a reroll because I can lock a fist. And Propeller Hat's also good. High Luck, very important to this character, since that's going to be more consumable healing. So we want to hit dodge cap really fast. We want to get some regen. We need some armor so that when we take a hit, it's not half our health. We also need some max HP, so when we take a hit, it's not half our health. The knockback that fists have is definitely a challenge for this weapon sometimes, because it can push high priority enemies away from you and make it harder for your low range to get them. Here, yeah, I guess I'll just take 6 more dodge. We'll try to get to dodge cap quickly. We'll buy a fist, and it is worth buying the flaming brass knuckles, even though it's very expensive, so it's not that efficient to buy it. It still increases our fist levels. It just lets us level up our weapons a little better. So I'm happy to add this weapon in as well. And then I will do one more reroll. I will want lifesteal eventually, but I'm not going to buy the bat yet. We got a triple egg spawn, but fortunately they all spawned in the middle. But you can see what I'm talking about, where we kill the summoner, and then chasing down the summons is actually really difficult with a melee weapon, especially with a range penalty on your character. And so, especially if you get a weird pattern for their spawn, as we did there, where they spawned in kind of an odd circle around us, it can be very difficult to kill enough of them at once. And of course, if you step on the X, they spawn randomly somewhere else on the map, so you end up making it even harder on yourself. Here, I will roll. We'll take 3 armor. We definitely need that. And then I will take 10 luck. I do need to fix my percent damage, but picking up the luck is good early. We will obviously take warrior helmet, but first I think I'm going to upgrade the flaming brass knuckle. It goes up to 40 base damage, which is pretty good. We'll buy a goat skull. We'll buy a hedgehog. Losing regen for 2 melee damage is pretty bad, but we obviously can't afford to not increase our damage output. And then, yeah, I guess I'll buy all these. Claw Tree isn't great for fists because they only have 1.5x crit damage, but it's still a relatively efficient damage source. Also, even though we have the flaming brass knuckles, we're not going to buy elemental damage unless, you know, it shows up completely for free. That is not going to be an important part of our plan, and the elemental, the burning from the brass knuckles is mostly useless, because, sort of by definition, it's going to be only setting things on fire that we're already punching. And if we're already punching it, then it's going to die to us punching it. We don't need the fire. I will take the fresh meat here. I will ban Toxic Sludge, because I don't want to lose dodge. I'll take 3 more armor. I do need more max HP, but max HP is easier to get than armor. And then we will go ahead and buy this stuff. We'll buy the beanie, keep Claw Tree locked, and then I'll lock a coupon. I guess I'll lock fresh meat as well. And we can stack lifesteal in addition to our regen. So I'd like to find, like, a +9 move speed level up. I'd like to find, of course, more weapon levels. Those are really important when we're using this weapon. More dodge, very important as well, because we're at 40%, which is kind of the most awkward number to be at, because it's not really reliable, but you've spent a lot of money on it. Obviously, it's better to be at 40 than at 30, you know. But it sometimes can feel bad to have 40% dodge, where it's just not reliable enough that you can actually use it to run at enemies. Alright, I'm trying to clear these enemies in the center here. Those spitters are worth a lot of money, so I wanted to get rid of them. We'll take the Shady Potion, I'll take the bat. I will re-roll here. I could take the 7 crit chance, but crit chance is pretty bad on this weapon, so I'm going to roll again. And I'm going to take 6 dodge, just trying to get to dodge cap quickly. We'll buy these items, we'll roll. We will buy the coffee. Now, Rip and Tear can be pretty good for this character, because we will buy a lot of melee damage, and this could help us get through Wave 9, it could help us get through Horde Waves. We're going into Wave 9, so I don't really need it for that, and there's no Horde Waves, so we're going to pass on Rip and Tear. And we'll roll here. We will ban that, lock these two, and then go to wave 9. So basically there, because the two summoners were stacked on top of each other, I was able to just stand in a where all the summons would spawn in a circle around me, and then we can hit them all with our weapons at once and clear them quickly. Very important to be able to do that. And you just have to chase these down. You can't let them survive, or it becomes so difficult to dodge all their attacks. Really, really important to make sure that you're dealing with all of these goobers as they spawn. There's one up here, so we're going to chase that one down. Ooh, any chance we can get this loot alien? I can't tell if I killed it or if we got a crate from something else. Obviously, the little muscly dude is great. We're thrilled to take 9 HP here. I will take... you could make an argument for any of these 3 stats. I think the crit chance isn't great, but the other 3 are all really viable. I think I'm going to take the move speed. While I would like to take the higher level upgrade and take the lifesteal, our move speed being low is one of the things that's really putting pressure on us, so we're just going to fix that. We'll take the fist here, we'll buy lemonade and alien tongue. You can see it has base 64 damage, because it doubles every time you upgrade it, and then we will... Oh, I guess I should have combined and bought like that for the other one as well. And then I'll re-roll. Okay, and I'm going to buy all this stuff. Riposte is kind of interesting. We have a lot of melee damage, and we're obviously going to hit dodge cap. So I think I will buy the riposte. The amount of damage we get out of it is still going to be really low, even on a melee character with a lot of dodge. That item just doesn't do anything most of the time. But we need melee damage, so it's okay to spend a premium on it, and the value that we get from the actual riposte effect is not completely zero for this character, the way it is for most characters. So it's a little less painful to spend the extra on buying 2 melee damage there. I definitely don't want to kill the curse alien. Of course, we had the problem of, we had 50 dodge, but we got no dodges, so we lost a lot of health. Run into that group of enemies and try to kill a bunch and get some consumable heal. And we were able to do that. And then let's roll. I will take 15 attack speed, and then here I'm going to re-roll, and we'll take 9% dodge. I was looking for dodge or armor, because I obviously want to get a dodge cap. With the clover, we're now at dodge cap, which is perfect. We can buy all of these items, take our reroll, we'll lock a fist, lock a bait, and we'll lock fresh meat as well. I've ended up lowering both my lifesteal and my regen a lot, so I need to get actual healing going again. We had a lot of regen early, but we bought a lot of items that reduce it. And then we bought things like the clover that lower our lifesteal. So now we're fighting the enhanced spitters. These are the most dangerous enemy type for us in this run on this character, because the number of projectiles that they fire is really high. They hit so hard, and they're fast, and they run away from you. So our low range, relatively low damage character can struggle to take them out. Fortunately, we do have 60 dodge, and we've got decent armor, so I can tank a hit or two from them while I'm trying to take them out, and it's not the end of the world, because we've built a lot of defensive stats. On a lot of characters, this would just be game over if I had taken this many hits, but because of the items that we've bought, we were able to do so. And so this is a good example of how, having good shopping can make up for movement mistakes in a wave, because I didn't play that wave super well, but it was still very comfortable. I'm gonna roll here. I could take a range upgrade, but I think there's just other stats we need more, and I will take the melee damage And then I'm going to buy all of these items. We'll roll here. We'll buy a coupon, buy a fist, buy a beanie. We definitely need more speed. And we'll buy a fist. I don't really want to cap my move speed, but this fixes so many of our problems. I'll try to get a move speed upgrade and then buy the shackles, but even if we don't see one, we'll definitely buy the shackles. I'm going to chase down all these eggs. I had to kill the lampreys first before I could go after the eggs, and then now that the eggs are gone, we can go after the elite here. Our damage output should be high enough that we can clear through its second stage really fast, and its second stage is the most dangerous one, where it summons a bunch of tentacles, because those have a ton of health. And we didn't actually see that second stage at all, because we killed it so fast. Or we broke through that stage so fast. Now that we've got 60 dodge, it's a lot easier to just run at enemies, because our dodge is much more reliable. We can actually expect to get some dodges when we go into a group of enemies. Now, of course, we don't want to rely 100% on dodges, because it's only 60%, but 60 is still good there. Now, I am going to be capping my move speed, so taking the big arms and lowering it is bad, but of course we can't not take 12 damage here. And then we'll take the baby gecko. I could roll for a move speed upgrade, but let's just take the 15 attack speed, and then I don't want to cap my max HP at 52, I don't think, so I'll pass on the handcuffs for now. And we'll just have 6 speed, that's fine. We'll take the banner here, and then roll, and then I'll take the whetstone, I'll take the loot worm. We're over dodge cap, so I don't need the feather, so I'll just ban that. We've found so few level 1 items that we don't want that I have 6 bans left. So I definitely wanted to have about 20% move speed, and capping it at 6, of course, means that we are not going to get 20% move speed. Oh, I've also, I guess, gotten some curse. I didn't see the curse alien, but we just had a cursed enemy appear, so I was, of course, not planning to get curse on Crash Zone, but we should be okay. Hopefully we make it through wave 14 and 15 without too many cursed enemies spawning, and that's going to be the big challenge. Gotta clear out that tree there and get a bunch of dodges. I'll take a rat. Since I have curse, I can take the corrupted shard. That's fine. I'm going to roll here. I'm looking for defensive stats, and we'll take 3 armor. And then we'll buy all of this. We'll ban pile of books, because that's just not something we're interested in. I'll take another corrupted shard. Do I want charcoal or boxing glove? I guess I will take the charcoal. The elemental damage isn't important, but it is relevant for the brass knuckles. I have -4 knockback. I think we can just ban boxing glove. It's just so inefficient. I actually don't really want the community support, I don't think. I guess I'll take a brass knuckles here. We can combine our fists. Losing 2 armor is really bad, and our attack speed is high enough that we don't actually need that much more, because we have 120% attack speed, so community support is, I think, just too expensive for what we get out of it here. I'll still take coffee, because it doesn't have the same cost. I'll take Frozen Heart as well. We are only going to get 1 burning tick anyways, and off of our brass knuckles, and this will increase the amount of damage that it does, while also increasing our per hit damage by a fair bit. You could also skip the Frozen Heart there. I think that would be totally reasonable, but I think it's fine in this spot. I'm going to try to clear as many of the goobers as I can as they spawn. We got a cursed one spawning. I'm going to have to hold still there and get that one. I'm going to have to clear all of these as they spawn, and we'll get those. Try to get these. Try to avoid killing summoners until I'm ready to clear the goobers immediately. Though there, I messed up, and now I moved through the whole wave chasing those. and killed a bunch. So I have to be really careful for the rest of this wave, because now there's going to be just a lot of projectiles on the map, and there's not a lot that I can do about that, because if I try to chase down the summons, I'm just going to be summoning more of them. And this is why the chaos that you see before you is why I think people are sometimes struggling with the Brawler on Crash Zone. I'll roll here, and I'll take 16% damage, or percent damage is really bad. And then we'll buy Frozen Heart, we'll buy Coffee, lock Propeller Hat, we'll roll. I'm going to combine these to buy the Flaming Brass Knuckles, but maybe it's better just to buy the Fist and just upgrade, because Brass Knuckles isn't that much better than a Fist, and this way we're not having awkward combines. Alright, here's the Elite. I didn't see where it was coming from. So I'm going to run over here and kill these eggs before they can hatch. And then go back to fighting the Elite. Just get this guy in the corner, and then you can just kind of step back and forth, and it'll just put slashes under you, but basically you always want to just bully that Elite into the corner. Alright, I wasn't planning to let that egg hatch, but it's fine. I had planned to kill it right before it hatched, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So now I'm actually in a little bit of danger. I need to be pretty careful here, because we missed a couple important dodges in a row. So my health was getting quite low. But we made it through. And then I don't need move speed or dodge, where it capped for both of those. So I guess we're just recycling the jetpack. Metal detector, I'm just going to recycle that. I don't want to lose damage here. Cute Monkey, one of the best items we could find. We'll take Propeller Hat, we'll roll. We'll upgrade our Brass Knuckles. I'll ban Dynamite. I don't think I want Robot Arm, because my max HP is actually pretty bad, and we'll keep passing on Community Support. I don't need Clockwork Wasp. I can level a Fist again, and we'll take a Blindfold, because that is worth some, because the crit chance is still relevant, and it also gives me more dodge, so if I take items that reduce our dodge, then we'll still be fine. 14 and 15 were the waves I was really worried about, but of course the bosses can still be pretty dangerous. Future elites can be dangerous. Wave 18 can be pretty bad. Wave 16 shouldn't be too bad because we're a melee build, so we don't have to worry about the enhanced flies, which are the main threat this wave. It's always so, I mean, I think that melee weapons are generally harder on Crash Zone because the summoners are so dangerous to melee builds. But it is very calming to play Wave 16 without using a ranged weapon and just not have to worry about the flies. Compared to, you know, doing this with like an SMG build. Then they shoot out projectiles like they've been eating Taco Bell lettuce. I'm gonna pick up 3 more armor here. And then we can upgrade our weapons to maximum. We'll take the hedgehog, we'll roll. I will definitely take the cauldron. Do I want the baby gecko at this point? I don't think I care about the baby gecko, really. Coupon will probably pay for itself, and I'll roll one more time, and we'll go to wave 17 here. Oh, for some reason I had it in my head that our elite was wave 18, so I wasn't ready for this elite. We also missed 3 60% dodges in a row, so I need to kind of back off from it, because we need to heal back up a little bit, thanks to... I was kind of expecting, you know, one of those 5 dodges to work. But of course you have to adjust when the RNG isn't favoring you. Still need to just readjust and play the wave in a way that you'll be able to survive as your health gets low. Oh, Nice, I was able to get that loot alien, that's great. Bandana, of course, doesn't do anything. Okay, Panda, this is a great find. We needed some max HP, we need some healing, we need all of these stats, perfect. I'll take 9 more max HP, going up to 80 helps a lot. The Ghost outfit, I'm very happy with, of course, because we have 68 dodge already, so being able to actually use that dodge, going up to dodge cap of 70, makes us much safer. I'll ban Ball and Chain, my weapons attack way faster than the minimum for that, and I actually do want the Tentacle. We've built a reasonable amount of crit chance, not a ton, but enough that it will be relevant here. And then, let me do one more reroll, see if I can lock something else good. This wave, of course, is pretty dangerous because of all the buffing aliens, so I'm trying to chase those down. With a melee character, wave 18 can just be a real challenge because it's just so hard to get to all the buffing aliens before they've buffed the entire wave. I would love to kill that loot alien. It did get buffed, which makes it much harder to take down, but we did manage to. And now, fortunately, with 70% dodge and good armor, our build is strong enough that I can mostly just run at the enemies. I still need to dodge some of these attacks, but we've gotten to the point where we're no longer in as much danger. I'll take the acid here because we're over dodge cap anyways. We'll take Lost Duck. Take 8 melee damage. Okay, Retromation's Hoodie, that's a lot of attack speed given how much dodge we have, so we'll take that. I don't think I want the Lucky Charm. I'm going to roll one more time, and yeah, we'll definitely take a Cursed Exoskeleton going into the last wave. Of course, the speed and engineering are wasted, but 6 armor is 6 armor. I guess I don't need to go after the tree because I do have a loot worm, but my poor loot worm is really struggling in these runs. One key item that I would have loved to find here would be Adrenaline. That would make us so much safer because we have 70 dodge cap, so Adrenaline would be giving us a lot of healing. Fortunately, we made it through wave 19. I'll just take some percent damage. My percent damage is pretty bad. We'll buy Exoskeleton, a little Lifesteal, we'll buy the Schmoop, and I'm just going to ban the padding, use my last ban, and get a reroll, because I want just more damage to kill the bosses a little faster. No! Axolotl! We could have had if we had been able to buy this, we could have had the sickest elemental damage build. We have Frozen Heart, so the Axolotl giving us, how much would that be? 230 elemental damage would have made every attack so powerful. Blood Leech or Big Arms would have been fine. You know, we would take fist upgrades, we'd take defective steroids, but let's just go to the next wave here. Fortunately, with Retromation's Hoodie, we attack pretty quickly, so we can DPS down the bosses fairly well. I'm gonna run after the Titan boss here, the Colossus boss, and kill it. And I'm basically just relying on my dodge and standing in the boss right now, because we've gotten a bunch of armor, a bunch of dodge, so we can just jump on it and punch it. Alright, my friends, that's the Brawler on Crash Zone. Let's check. So our Brass Knuckles did 17k compared to the about 14k that all of my fists were doing. So they were fine as a mild upgrade. We had 500 materials saved from coupon. 4 coffees is great. Certainly any build where you get 4 coffees is going to be a fairly easy run. We had not quite 10k damage from the riposte, like I said, even though we're in the mix dodging a lot. This weapon this item very rarely does anything, but in terms of its damage, but we just bought it for the 2 melee damage mostly. Saltwater, we didn't really use because we were speed capped. The shackles was still very good though, even though we got speed capped because the 8 regen was really important and it fixed our range when we actually needed range. The rat, I don't think I actually needed to buy the rat here, though it did do 11k damage. Maybe I should have skipped that. I don't remember when we bought it or if we found it in a box or whatever. Dangerous bunny was fine. It saved us 123, but the real number is much higher than that. Loot worm didn't get us much money, but of course it kills trees and stuff. Cute monkey for 65 healing, and we had 8 regen from the tentacle, which we only got right at the end, so pretty good there. Alright, my friends, hope that you enjoyed this run with the Brawler, and I hope that if you're struggling on Crash Zone, that gives you some idea of how to do it. Basically, just rush armor and dodge, level up your fists. Those are the important things. This weapon gains so much by getting leveled that you can benefit a ton from just prioritizing leveling it. And of course, armor and dodge are important to any melee build. So that's the formula for success if you follow it. Alright, my friends, thanks for watching. As always, of course, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a comment, hit the like button, helps me out with the algorithm, and of course you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.